Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for joining to our another edition of a growth webinar by Shiprocket. So without a further ado, I would like to begin the webinar for all. I would like to welcome Mr. Praful Padar from our team, from Shiprocket, our CPO, who leads our product wagon and is known for leveraging technology to build the product that will make your life easier and will make sure that your life goes as smooth as possible. With an experience for over 13 plus years, he expertises in product management, user experience analysis, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and is known for his known instance for building high performing teams, crafting user centric product strategies, and executing go to market plans in a dynamic digital environment. So, before I give it to Praful, let me welcome Mr. Apaksh Gupta as well, the founder and CEO of One Impression. Over to you, Praful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ria, for kicking this off. And thanks everyone for joining us today. Really excited about taking everyone through the webinar and talking about what influencer marketing is and what we are seeing. Before I introduce Apaksh, just a quick expectation setting of what is going to happen over the next 45-50 minutes. Guys, this is not one of those boring webinars where we're going to give you a lot of gyan on how to do what you know best to do. I think the idea will be to drill down to some practical strategies that you can walk away with on how to apply to your marketing as well as to your influencer marketing plans that you have. We'll talk a little bit about what we are seeing in the industry, not just in India, but globally as well. And towards the end, we will also talk about one of the products that One Impression and Shiprocket has co-built recently to give you a flavor of how to leverage technology effectively to be able to tackle influencer marketing more effectively. And we leave some time for Q&A towards the end so that you guys can pick our brains on some of the questions that could be bothering you related to influencer marketing or marketing in general, where Apaksh and I can help provide our point of view. So let me welcome Apaksh. Apaksh is a friend, CEO and founder of One Impression. Vast variety of experience backing his leadership with One Impression, where he set out to, and he and his team have been set out to solve problems for online sellers to help them maximize their ROI on every dollar that they're spending on marketing. One of the products that's really scaled for them is One Impression, where he leads the team, which helps in figuring out a more way to connect influencers and brands together to be able to help them deploy their money in an effective manner. Welcome, Apaksh. Thanks for joining. And over to you.
Thanks, Praful. Thanks for having me and for the warm introductions. And thanks everybody for taking the time on a Monday to hear us. So excited to be sharing whatever we've learned over the course of past few years working with brands and creators. Very excited about the conversation. I think we'll get started. We're planning to get started with the poll. So maybe Ria, do you want to quickly do the poll before I dive into the conversation?
Yes, it's there. We are ending the poll in next 1 minute, hoping for you all to participate in the poll for us to see how it goes for you all.
Okay, super interesting. So I think the polls around the question, have you ever tried influencer marketing? Almost 40% people said yes and 63% said no. So that's very interesting. I think that also maybe aligns with some of our thoughts that we have going forward in the presentation. And I think with our belief system that maybe a lot more people want to try influencer marketing but are still figuring out paths to do it. So we'll take you through where the industry is. We'll get started with industry trends, followed by some of the issues that maybe everyone begins small as an advertiser faces, and then talk about some key trends. So the first topic.
Sorry, guys. Sorry to stop you, Apaksh. Just this was interesting outcome from the poll. Ria, is there a way that we can get people to type into chat on who is on the call? Like, are we seeing brand owners? Are we seeing marketing guys? Are there,
Definitely.
just to get a view? Sorry.
Sure. We can have the participants typing in.
Yeah, can the participants just type who you are? Just give Apaksh and me a quick understanding of who you're speaking to. It'll be very interesting for us to understand. Okay, there's a digital marketing lead, super, brand owner,
marketing agency, okay, and founder of a brand.
Yeah, I think we'll keep this coming up. Aksh, maybe you can continue and we'll keep an eye on this.
Interesting stats. I think we have a mix of folks who are part of the marketing teams and brand owners, and I think hopefully we should be able to address some of the interesting points that will maybe you take a final plunge into the world of influencers. But just touching on some key trends, right? I think the graph that you see on screen is super interesting. It's interesting to note how influencer marketing in India is growing like even faster than how it is growing in the US. So as like you can see 46% growth year on year on the influencer marketing spends. Uh, I think globally, maybe today we are the fastest growing economy in the influencer category. Only second to the Indonesian. I think Indonesia is growing slightly faster than us, but we're maybe the fastest growing space in the influencer marketing industry and faster than the US. So that just sort of talks about how so many brands are now taking the plunge into the world of influencers. Some three key insights. Almost 76% brands have used influencer marketing in the last year. More than 28% brands have doubled their influencer spends in the last year. And I think one also very, very interesting insight is how a lot of brands are using regional influencers to engage like audiences. Can we move to the, I think one more point. So Varun also an investor for us and a very good friend, and also maybe guys who's at the helm of the D2C space. In his own words, I think influencers are at the forefront of building Mamaearth for as a brand and as a category leader. Can we move to the next slide? So, I really wanted to touch down on a very large key trend. We broadly classify brands into like three broad categories, which is enterprises, medium-sized brands, and small emerging brands. We've seen enterprises today spend almost 25% of their digital budgets on influencer marketing, which is like huge money when you look at the lens of a Unilever or a L'Oreal. We've seen D2C growing D2C brands such as like Mamaearth, etc. Today spend almost 35% of their spends on influencer marketing. But surprisingly, we see only like 15 to 20% spent by SMBs on the world of influencers. We believe that there is a huge latent demand, which means a lot of SMBs want to try influencer marketing, but there's friction to how they can do it. So we will speak about that in the following slides. But I think it's interesting to know that how a L'Oreal today engages with more than like a few thousand influencers in every quarter to grow the brand. Similarly, like I think Mamaearth has had more than 3,000 to 4,000 influencers. H&M engages with more than 5,000 creators. Myntra engages with more than 2,000 creators. So just trying to sort of give a lay of the land of how brands are using with like creators at a massive scale to grow influencer marketing. In fact, I think just last week I was meeting the chief marketing officer at Myntra, and I think in his own words, fashion, he said like fashion goes hand in hand with trends, and influencers are at the forefront of setting trends. So Myntra takes influencer marketing at the core of how they grow the Myntra ecosystem. So I think just trying to put a sense into how like large brands are thinking about influencer marketing to how young brands are today looking at influencers. Moving to the next slide. Praful, do you want to quickly take over talking about some of the problems?
Yeah. Just to briefly mention, when we talk to our sellers, brands, and brands could be at any stage of setting up, mostly SMBs, where either SMBs are looking to find product market fit with some new product that they're about to launch, or SMBs that have scaled are now looking to further optimize their cost, further optimize their customer acquisition, improve their ROI on every dollar that they're spending on marketing. Influencer marketing is being looked at as a key strategy and as a key budget point, as Apaksh was talking from the previous slide. The way we always think about, building these solutions, and the way SaaS industry in specific is looking at solving some of these problems, is that there's a lot of deep respect for SMBs who've actually found a product market fit with a product which has need in the market. This could be a t-shirt, it could be a bottle, it could be a shoe cleaning equipment which has high need in the market. And the last thing that SMB sellers, brand owners want to do is now get distracted by managing all the other parts of the business, like marketing, operations, etc. And we fundamentally believe that some companies are out there solving for helping brands focus on what their core is, which is the product that they're selling, and leaving all the peripheral to other companies that can do it. And when brands have started to try some of these out on their own, classic problems that they face is that just the overall headache of managing a new marketing channel in itself becomes super difficult. There is a lot of back and forth with influencers to figure out, hey, how do I do the right contracting? There is no standard price available in the market. Hey, what's the right price should I pay to an influencer which has so many followers, is able to do that? Finding niche influencers which can create relatability with the audience that they're trying to target is also difficult. And then finally figuring out, hey, what happened? I spent all this dollars and all this money on creating all these reels with these influencers. Was I able to extract any key results from it? And is an easy way to measure them. These are some of the things that we've heard SMBs say a lot. And Apaksh, I think you will also validate that the larger enterprises also face some of the similar problems, right?
Yeah, I think it's interesting that a lot of large enterprises till date have not just faced, I think, some, but almost all. I think barring very, very few companies who would have set up like engines over a course of years to be able to solve one or two of these problems. But even like if you speak to some of the largest advertisers in the country across like any category, from fashion to beauty to FMCG to gaming to finance, you will realize that all of them go through all of these problems. Some problems are bigger for like few and the others are bigger for the others, but like mostly all of these problems are like very similar to most marketeers at most companies, big or small.
Let's move to the next slide. And just to revalidate some of the things, we actually spoke to a lot of SMB sellers and also did a survey, and some similar trends that we saw from the internal survey as well. A lot of the brands, upcoming sellers, do want to try out influencer marketing. Some feel that it takes a lot of time, are not sure of what kind of pricing all of this comes along. And then finding the right influencer becomes a very, very key aspect, right? And it's not just from the influencer, from the point of view of saying, hey, this influencer can actually create a quality output, deliverable content for me that will help talk about my brand in an effective way, but also figure out whether the influencer is able to connect with the right audience and the TAM that the brand wants to target. I think it's always going to be a two-pronged sort of variable where any brand that is set out to spend any dollars on influence marketing is going to find it hard to find the right influencers. And Apaksh can also add a little bit about how on the influencer side this is also extremely difficult, and there's an opportunity to optimize that as well.
Correct. So I think it's not, the problem is just not on one side, which is brands. It's equally on the influencer side as well, which means that for influencers also, there are brands they're passionate about. There are brands they believe they can really advocate, or they believe in the brand itself, but like they find it very hard to be able to speak to the right brand at the right time, to be able to engage with them seamlessly. For brands, again, because these problems of entire end-to-end management are so complex, I think the right marriage of a great brand with a great creator who could sort of partner up and grow each other doesn't happen, given these challenges of like identification, pricing. Both are confused on what is the right price, and then of course the tedious effort associated with just getting the campaign going live, right?
Shall I move ahead with the next slide?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll maybe double down into some of this. I think some interesting notes, and I think this is really, really interesting for most brands here. we see a little over half of our all brands in the country engage nano and micro creators. I think the definition of nano and micro to us is creators between, say, like for sake of a simple benchmark, it could be followers. So say followers were to be a benchmark, then for creators between 1,000 followers to say 50 to 100,000 followers is what most brands would consider micro and nano content creators. And almost all, like I said, almost more than half of the brands in the country use them very, very effectively. I think part of the reason of using micro and nano is one is scale, which means that a lot of creators create a lot of content in small like cohorts of audiences in their version of how those audiences are convinced, which means that it is almost more than like 50% engagement for any content that is created by nano micro creators as compared to like say slightly larger creators. But at the same time, what's also interesting is what we call democratization of celebrities. That today, it's not just that you have to engage with the Kareena Kapoor or a Virat Kohli or a large celebrity to be able to take your brand places or to be able to like make huge audiences aware of your brand. There are all of these new age celebrities like a Masoom Minawala, etc., etc., who today brands can partner up and take like your brand to a lot of people for a lot of reach and awareness very, very quickly. Uh, we also see, I think, an interesting trend is almost half of the brands at an yearly level engage with at least 50 creators. Uh, I think the reason behind this is that your strategy on one or two creators can be a hit or miss strategy. But when you work with like a bouquet of creators, it almost works like a portfolio of creators who are working for your brand and like community of creators for you. Yeah, I think uh, this is a small note on the kind of content that different brands do. So we see brands doing testimonial videos, which is advocating positively for the product that has been used by a creator and talking about how it has positively impacted the brand, positively impacted the creator. The second is product in action, wherein creators are showcasing the product and how they use it. So to establish use case. And the third is typically on launches, wherein creators unbox different new launches and different new products, which leads to like creating a lot of excitement in their audiences. Yeah, over to you, Praful, if you want to add to on the
I
maybe.
think there's a poll coming up. It'll be good to understand from the audience on if they've tried any of these video formats to talk about some of the products or the brands that they are marketing. Would be great if everyone can take this quick poll.
Yeah, I think of the 38% people who've tried influencer marketing would love to see like very super interesting. Uh, it seems a lot of people have done a lot more product showcase followed by testimonial videos, followed by unboxing videos. Uh, yeah, so I think it also goes with maybe like what we see a lot of our brands doing, which means that launches are of course not happening all the time, which means that unboxing content is at a frequency level is lesser than what you see in product in action, and product in action is highly used for the reason that brands are always trying to showcase what is the right, like they're always trying to establish a use case for their product, right? I think it's the best way if a brand can go forward with the creators and showcase when and how to use their product, what is the right manner, what is the right time, should you use it every day, is it a product to be used at a certain event, etc., etc., depending on the kind of category and brand. But I think it really helps the audiences understand use cases of how they can engage with the product by seeing this video. So I think that's a really cool thing. And testimonials, of course, when coming from a very high quality of creators, work very well. But I think I personally would always go for product in action, trying to like sort of establish use case. But testimonials work really well when a brand believes that there is a very strong awareness, but also now they're trying to like just build advocacy and a positive word around the brand and product. So yeah, Praful, sorry, just thought I'll add some notes around the poll.
Yes, absolutely. If you move to the next slide, I think this is a good segue into what's happening on the technology side. And technology has become almost key to scaling any kind of business strategy across the value chain that a business owner could be having. And marketing and zeroing on influencer marketing has also become a very interesting area where technology is making it much more efficient. Gone are the days where all of the process was almost offline, where manual conversations with influencers, contracting, sharing content over emails, reviewing that manually, and then tracking almost numbers by extracting Excel sheets are gone. I think technology is enabling a lot of this process to become really, really productized and efficient. Just simple example of what kind of content should be created. We saw from a previous poll that it's not just one kind of content. There could be different kinds of content which could benefit a brand or a product at different stages of the life cycle. AI could actually help in not just helping gather trends on what is working, what is not working, could also help in recommending at what stage of the product, with what kind of influence and what kind of target audience, a lot of the campaigns and the content could be effective, which could either be for sales. We see a lot of brands in the early stages using influencer marketing for brand creation as well, to just bring out the awareness to say, here's a brand that exists in this particular category, which is trying to compete with these other brands that already exist, but here's the different value proposition that it comes along with. So that is where we see a lot of push happening. Gen AI, which is also helping create content copies very, very effectively, make sure that quality checks can happen very, very effectively as well, is now taking off in a big way. And we see this becoming a key trend over the next few years to be able to optimize that part. Cost effectiveness, and with cost effectiveness you also mean the matchmaking, right? I think it's very important for a particular brand, let's say, who's set out to has 1 lakh rupees to spend on influencer marketing in a particular month, how to make sure that those 1 lakh get allocated to the right places, to the right creators. The matchmaking of, say, hey, this particular influencer has the kind of followership that you really want your brand to have, has the niche kind of understanding of the product, has done some similar content in the past, people appreciate the reviews and the feedback that this influencer get. Because in the Gen Z and the new age shopping customer audience, a lot of the decision making is also getting influenced by the influencers. Like, they are really able to drive to say, hey, what is good and what is bad, and hence it's important to know the kind of audience you're going after. The creators has a similar kind of followership. Doing the matchmaking using AI structured algorithm has become very important. So you, like, a brand really doesn't have to go through a list of 100 influencers and manually select these are the influencers that I really want to go after. AI can actually do a bunch of it and come out with even greater results. And also just making the process really, really simple. Like, it's almost everything is on the app. Like, as a brand, all I need to do is download a particular app, select the products that I want to market, and from that on, I think the technology does the rest. So a very heavy leverage on technology we see happening across the board, across the value chain of influencer marketing, and we see this only will grow in the coming few years. So a very strong push on brands which are adopting to more scalable ways of doing marketing, being able to divide up budgets not just between influencer but other channels as well, etc. Being able to measure them effectively, and then almost let technology distribute the budget in different ways. It's become very, very important. One other aspect of AI in specific to influencer marketing is how to think of distribution, right? As a brand, one way is to control the distribution geographically to a particular region, etc. The other way is to set some goals for yourself and let technology sort of figure out how to capture that and distribute content, where to push it up, where to bring it down, etc. in terms of budget allocations. And the last one that we see is on the fraud side as well. Like, you definitely want to make sure that there's no fraud happening when you're going out and setting products, either on the influencer side as well as on the customer side. Technology helps in gathering those digital footprints, figuring out what is historically what this user has been doing on different platforms, and is able to weed out the bad users across the value chain, which really helps, again, going back to the point of how does technology help optimize the costs that a brand is putting onto this platform, and as well as bringing out the right results. Moving to the next slide. And speaking of technology, and this is the second last section of the webinar, and we'll go to Q&A after that. Apaksh and I are very excited to talk a little bit about Shiprocket Amplify. This is a product that Shiprocket and One Impression has co-built with a view of solving influencer marketing for the SMB audience in India with a very simple way. The overall philosophy of this product is to enable and democratize influencer marketing for all of the SMB in India, making it really simple for them to access all the influencers that are available across the country, and to be able to market their product in a very easy, hassle-free way. Move on. What we've done is we've actually built a platform which has access to millions of influencers on one side, has a lot of history of what these influencers have done, along with the data of what kind of products they've been able to roll out, what type of campaigns have worked well, what kind of viewership they have. And then we have a lot of information on the seller side, which are connecting their channels and the businesses on the Shiprocket platform. And this platform helps in matchmaking to say, hey, I'm a brand and I want to start influencer marketing. Can you give me a few influencers that can market a certain set of products for me? And using technology, AI, and machine learning, this platform is able to do matchmaking between brands and influencers to be able to bring out campaigns that are performing really well with just a few clicks. Apaksh, do you want to cover a little bit about this?
Yeah, I think so. Praful, thanks for talking about Amplify, and we're very excited about it. I think there are some key aspects to Amplify that, like, we want to talk about. First, as Praful mentioned, is matchmaking, which is, we being able to like really build a curated community of creators who you can work with. So for every brand, every order, we really handpick and match the right sort of creators. We've also automate. Sorry, one second. My Wi-Fi sort of just give me 1 second.
So while we get Apaksh back, let me cover the platform that is built works in very simple ways. I think the first thing of the platform does is to help identify the right influencers that can be used for marketing a particular kind of product or a brand. The second part of the platform that it does is optimizes for the kind of content creation. So it has a lot of templates that are available for content creation, which could be tweaked according to brands. So the brief that a brand is supposed to be giving to a content creator is really templatized, which helps speed up the process, also create a lot of information asymmetry, reduce information asymmetry between the influencers as well as the brands to make the process much more simpler. So here's a quick snapshot of how the process works. It's very simple. The platform allows sellers to be able to select a product that they want to market. Shiprocket platform already has the catalog of the sellers that is available. So if I'm a t-shirt seller, I could just select the t-shirt that I really want to market. There are already pre-built plans which range from 5,000 all the way up to 50,000, which gives 2 to 10 reels as outputs to the brand. Simple payment is done through the Shiprocket wallet, where AI comes in and selects the right influencers that could help in marketing the particular product. And then there's an analytics dashboard available on the panel itself, which is real time, which helps brands track how different campaigns are doing and where they want to pump in for the budgets, etc. We have Apaksh back. Maybe you can.
Sorry, am I audible?
Yeah, you are Apaksh. Go ahead.
Can I go to the last slide? Yeah. So sorry, guys. Working on my hotspot today. Yeah. So just quickly, I think I was talking about how we handpick creators. We marry the right creators to every sort of order that you place, whether it's a kurti brand, a jutti brand, or you're selling a keyring. I think we try to find creators who are optimized for every category, who are optimized to deliver the results that you see, that are sort of maximizing for your goals in the very beginning. I think also what we focus on is creating world-class content. So given that we have so much experience and knowledge of working with so many large brands, we bring all of that knowledge and insights into the kind of automated briefs that creator gets. And then like we also allow brands to be able to personalize the kind of content needs they have. The goal is that brands can then take this content to like Facebook ads or Google ads, or also be able to use it on their website and marketplaces to drive better ROI, which is essentially the third point. For every buck that you spend, the goal is that you can take more out of it. And lastly, like we said, right, we really focus on technology driving cost efficiency, which is you're able to do all of this at a in a really cost effective manner, like the lowest cost today, which is as low as like 70 paisa. But in reality, we've been able to drive like much lower costs in our actual orders.
Yeah, maybe before just we, so guys, here's a actual preview of yeah, of a content that came out of the Amplify platform. Again, not much work at all for the brand to be able to get this content out. Just a few clicks, and they had something of a reel like this to be able to publish on Instagram as well as on some of the other platforms that they're marketing at. Go ahead, Ria. Let's play it. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, Apaksha.
No, I think I was just about to add, I think the gist of building Amplify is to add convenience, is to add like quality output, both in terms of content and in terms of ROI, and to be able to add like scalability, which means like most of the advertiser brands here, marketers will be able to do this like super quickly, less than 3 clicks, in really cost effective manner, which is as low as $5,000, and like you can obviously scale up. And like to be able to do this like so for different SKUs, right? So you don't need to like put a lot of time to be able to just launch for a single product, but you can just place a bunch of orders for a bunch of different SKUs. So and we've been seeing a lot of brands do this. So I think the idea is speed, scale, convenience, and cost effectiveness at a gist, and ensuring like ROI is at the forefront, which is both both in terms of direct reach and then also in terms of quality of content that can translate into better sales and better traffic for brands. Praful, if you want to add anything.
No, I think that covers would be great, and we'll have some contacts towards the end if people are interested in figuring out what Amplify is, and if they want to get more contacts or a demo of the platform. Our team is happy to assist in getting more details through. But we could go to some questions now, Ria and Shubham. If there are questions from the group, either on the chat or through other mediums that we've got questions, Apaksha and I are happy to take some of those right now.
Yeah, so the first question from Ayosha is, can you suggest the name of the AI app that will help create the influencer campaign?
No, I think from our point of view, I think we've tried to we're a workflow company, right? Which means that we've automated everything from step one to the last, which is tracking, from like discovery to ensuring right price, to ensuring right content briefing, to ensuring moderation, to tracking. As a workflow, we've been able to like use a lot of technology at every piece. So AI is sort of at very central to the entire workflow, right from like who is the right creator. So when we speak about matching, we use AI in matching. When we speak about performance, we use like a lot of predictive data in being able to predict accurately what is the outcomes are going to be. When we use content briefing on the creator side, there is a lot of like again tools that enable creators to create better and faster. So I think I would say Amplify itself as a product, we've built in a way to be able to serve this. But if you talk about like independent tools, I think there are like hundreds of AI companies out there which would solve for different pieces of it, but not the entirety of it. Like somebody could translate Hindi content into Punjabi, there are tools like that, or English content into 5 different languages. There is a global tool that would say help you edit videos seamlessly without having to spend like days in editing video. It would like sort of make it like into a few minutes or hours for you, right? So save a lot of time. But we've tried to like introduce all of these technologies in the workflow when you're using say Amplify, but you can always go and independently use some of these products as well. Raful, if you want to add anything.
No, I think I was going to suggest the same thing. I think it's a combination of a bunch of uh, uh, two technologies that come together to bring this alive. I think we've tried to rope it and amplify. There are some other products available on Shopify and the other card building platforms that are there. आरती जी, आई सी यू आर सेइंग कि आपको हिंदी में है, पूरा वेबिनार वैसे इंग्लिश में है, बट मैं ब्रॉडली बता देता हूँ आपको। एक इन्फ्लुएंसर मार्केटिंग प्लेटफॉर्म की ये टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में बात हो रही है। अगर और डिटेल चाहिए होगी तो प्लीज आई थिंक टीम से आप कांटेक्ट कर लीजिएगा, दे और डिटेल्स वो आपको प्रोवाइड कर देंगे। अनुपम हैज अ क्वेश्चन ऑन इन्फ्लुएंसर मार्केटिंग प्राइस फॉर 1 year. Again, it's a very broad question, Anupam, but let me just give you an example of how priced Amplify is right now. If we just go a couple of slides back, there was a screenshot there, Shubham or Ria, on the platform itself. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So if you see on the right, we've actually created packages, Anupam, for simplifying what the cost for an influencer marketing could be, starting from 5,000 all the way up to 50,000, depending. And then there are certain, outputs that are guaranteed, which happens there. Although the platform is far outperforming the number of views, etc., that we are guaranteeing here. Basically, what it means is there are certain number of reels that you get as selecting number of packages, as well as the content is available to be used on other platforms as well. Typically, we are seeing at least one or two of these, at least people doing 2 campaigns a month, if not more, to be able to drive some of the ROI, depending on the budget, size, and nature of the business that are there. So it really varies. But again, from an Amplify standpoint, these are some of the packages that we have. Apaks, do you want to add a little bit view on like how much people spend in a year, etc.?
Yeah, so maybe like if I was to now, since I will answer it maybe in a very broad way, if that helps. But I think maybe if we speak about enterprises at a Unilever level today, just to give an example, they have like over 100 crores that they spend yearly. But when we speak to like young D2C brands, I think it's more to do with how what percentage of spend they'll spend. So typically we'll see like 20-30% of their digital spends at least going to influencers. I could say like in terms of actual amount, this could translate to anything between like 1 lakh a year to like maybe 3, 4, 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs a year, depending on like for a very early stage brand. And obviously, as a brand continues to grow, as I've mapped out, like you have like you the at the helm, like these very, very large giants would spend like tons of crores of rupees on influencers, right? So I'd say a good starting point may be like maybe you can start with 5 or 10,000 rupees per month per product, or like for different SKUs, and then scale it like over time as you start to see results.
Thank you, Apaksha and Praful. We have another question, that how should we measure the impact of influencer marketing spends?
Yeah, okay, I'll take this one, Praful. So maybe just going back to the original point, right? So there are two ways. One is looking at reach and engagement as a way of looking at influencer outputs. The other that a lot of brands associate ROI with is content. So the content that comes out of influencers is proven to have driven better sales and better traffic for brands. So you can take this content as with content rights, and then run ads on this, which will drive better sales for you, and also maybe use it on marketplaces, which means better discovery and better sales, and also on your website, which would typically lead to better conversion. So this is how typically like brands would associate influencers with sales. One is like direct sales attribution, and second is using content on these three mediums to be able to associate like better content leading to better traffic, leading to more conversion and sales. Praful, you want to add anything to this?
No, I think that covers it up. Thanks.
Our next question is, that can we use the reels on other platforms for marketing?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Can we use the?
So we have similar questions of two types. One is that can we use the reels on other platforms for marketing, and the other question is that what do you mean by content rights? So these two seem to be interrelated. If you can answer.
Yeah, so for all content that influencers create, right? Like you as a brand, like you cannot technically all content that anybody has created, you need to license it to be able to use it anywhere, right? Like otherwise, technically an influencer can get up tomorrow and say, I never, how can you use my content as a brand? So for any brand, like it's very important that any influencer content they use, they also license that content from the influencer, so that they're legally always proof from an influencer making any claims tomorrow. And once you have rights, and rights are typically taken for a period of time, so you can say, please create this content for me, and I want the content that you create, I want the rights of this content for 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, 1 year. I want to use this content on digital mediums, or maybe some brands might say I also want to use it offline. So assuming like most of you will use it digitally, and you take content rights for say 3 to 6 months, now you can essentially go and start using this content anywhere else, which could be like starting like a Facebook ad campaign, even posting anywhere else if you feel like that platform will drive engagement. But essentially this content then becomes your property for that period of time. And influencer content would ideally, like a lot of brands you would typically see on Myntra or Amazon, they would also put influencer videos next to their product SKUs, because when consumers land on like all of these large marketplaces, influencer content is very relatable and natural to a user to see and understand what this product is about. So you can use this content everywhere, from website to marketplaces to ads, and it will ideally drive, like I said, better traffic, better discovery, better sales for the brand. But you have to ensure that you've taken rights of that content for at least like the period of time that you're using it for. And as soon as those rights are over, you should ideally then replace that content or remove that content, or ask to extend the rights if that content is working very well for you. I hope that answers the question.
So Nick, another question is that the amount we will be only for using this platform, or I need to pay separately for separately to the influencer?
No, so this is a full package. Everything in the package includes the influencer cost as well as any and all costs associated with the campaign. There is no over and above costs that are associated. We are introducing add-ons as a feature, which means we are launching new features within the package. So you can always add new features that you want to get within the package for a minimal fee. But whatever you spend, like the 5,000 rupees, include the influencer money as well.
Yeah, there's just GST on top of it, guys, just to be clear. Is there a way we can see a couple of more reels that have come out of the platform?
Just give me a minute. I'll play along a few. So meanwhile, we have another question that should I use a celebrity to grow my brands?
Sorry, can I ask, like, is this a very new brand, or is this slightly like established brand? Okay, so I'll maybe answer this question for both, just to like maybe address.
Yeah, they have not mentioned it. The brand's life cycle as of now. So it's just a question.
Yeah, I think like celebrity is a great idea. I think the definition of celebrity is also like now really varied. Like there are creators who are like I said, like Virats of the world, Anushkas, and like Karinas of the world that are associated with celebrities, but also like Masoom Minawalas, or even like much smaller creators than her who are associated as celebrities. So one, I think in the universe of celebrities, there are a lot of options today. So I think as a brand, it is always a great idea to be able to like associate with like a slightly large name. It builds like a lot of trust. It gives that feeling of a large brand to a lot of consumer. It also drives a lot of reach and recall. At the same time, I would not say that you should spend almost all of your money on celebrities. It's almost like investing, right? Like you wouldn't put almost all of your money in a single asset. So similarly, like if you have say 100 rupees for influencer marketing, maybe I would say 50 rupees should go to like a lot of mid to small creators, and maybe the other 50 can go to one or multiple celebrities, depending on the kind of budgets that you have for it. But yeah, I think if you do feel there is enough capital, like I would not say celebrity should be the only way, but if you've also done micro and nano creators and have like extra budget now left, then I think you should start exploring celebrity content, because sometimes like a lot of times we'll see like a right celebrity and brand fit can take a brand like growth like really, really fast. It can like really put the brand on the map very quickly. I hope that answers the question.
So here are a few samples for the reference.
As well as outside the gym. And hence I've partnered with this company called Sunfits, which creates premium cotton t-shirt. The fabric is extremely breathable, and today I want to teach you boys how to style this. The outfit is 90% ready, but the only thing missing is Delhi ki thand mein hai mera Sunfits ka hoodie, and that hoodie is lying in the car. So So this hoodie is also made from premium cotton, which is very breathable and warm at the same time. But Delhi is getting much colder, and hence I paired it with this half-sleeve jacket. So if you would also like to get high-quality cotton fabric, which is very breathable, I'm going to leave the link somewhere in the video or in the caption. Or you can also check out my story. And have fun shopping.
काला शाकाला मेरा काला ए सरदार गोरेआनु दफा करो गोरेआनु दफा करो मैं आप गले दी तार काला शाकाला पटियाले आजा सजना तेन तकदियां मेरियां गलियां पटियाले आजा सजना तेन तकदियां दिल दियां गलियां
बैंड हेडफोन्स। सो इफ यू आर प्लानिंग टू बाय हेडफोन फॉर यू, तो ये बिग बेस नेक बैंड एक परफेक्ट चॉइस होंगे आपके लिए, जस्ट इन 699। सो लेट मी टेल यू इस नेक बैंड के कुछ अमेजिंग फीचर्स। तो सबसे पहले आता है इसका बैटरी लाइफ। सो दिस नेक बैंड गिव्स यू 24 आवर्स का लॉन्ग रन टाइम। ऑल्सो आई रियली लाइक द हाई रेजोल्यूशन साउंड, जो कि काफी इंप्रेसिव है अगर आप साउंड क्वालिटी में कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करते। सो यू शुड डेफिनेटली गो फॉर दिस वन। यू ऑल्सो गेट स्मार्ट मैग्नेटिक ईयरबड्स, एंड पर्सनली जो फीचर मुझे काफ़ी पसंद आया है वो है वाटर रेजिस्टेंट, जो कि इस प्राइस रेंज में काफ़ी सरप्राइजिंग फीचर है। ऑल्सो दिस नेक बैंड हैज़ बेस्ट बेस sound quality. So let me know in comments which one was your favorite feature. Order your neck band now on this website before the offer gets over.
Thanks, Ria. I think we have a few minutes left. We can take a couple of more questions if there are any.
Yes, so we have another question that if we buy your package, we are supposed to take approval from you or your team would be doing it for the content we need.
So just go ahead about.
No, go for it, Professor.
Yeah, I was just saying, see the content brief and what content needs to be made and how do you want the content to be is really up to the brand. The team helps in making sure that the communication as well between the brand and the influencer is happening seamlessly. There is appropriate feedback going. Because we also want to, make sure that the cycle of feedbacks is very, very tight. We just allow one feedback, like once after the brief goes in, to make sure that, content comes out very quickly and the campaign can go live. But otherwise, the final go ahead is coming from the brand.
Yeah, just to add to Praful's point, I think we allow like content review and approval by brands. There are obviously set limits to how many times you can do that, but otherwise, like all content is reviewed and approved by the brand within a certain period of time. And we are happy to like share more details one as well if you need to go deeper into this.
So adding to the same question, we have another question from Chandan Prasad that all these videos are created by the creators or us, the script of the videos.
So I'll take this one, Praful. I think all content, as I mentioned, is created by the creators. The creators like end to end create that content. We only create guidelines for them in a category. Like we know what guidelines work better for, say, a fashion brand versus the beauty brand. Given like, of course, we do so much work with so many brands at scale, and we use some of that knowledge to also guide these creators at a guideline level. Like this is how it should be. This is how like you should have if it's a fashion brand, we'll say, hey, your full look should be, the product should be clearly visible. If you're wearing slippers, we will say, hey, you should be completely visible. Your entire body should be visible so people can completely see the look, etc., etc. But the script of it and the content is fully created by the creator, so that their originality of how they create content can come out.
One of the last questions of the session is that do we give the option to select the influencer to the brands?
So today we're not giving that option upfront. We're thinking of like also adding that as a feature, given like a bunch of brands have asked for it. We're still deciding, so happy to take feedback from like sellers like who believe that that option will help. But today, like the system is designed to auto match creators for you. So we believe like our system knows what are the right creators given the kind of brand category mix, etc., and also like the creators that have worked for other brands in the categories. So we're also able to like really narrow down to the right set of creators who will be uniquely positioned to help the brand grow. when brands are choosing creators, they would typically not be able to see all of this data of which creators have worked in the past, etc., etc. Wherein we also mentioned like the role of AI in the creator matching engine, etc. And I think like our engine has been doing like a really good job, like in creator allocation automatically. So I think we've seen like over 90-95% of the brands being like really happy with the creator allocation that happens by the platform itself. Ruffle, if you want to add anything, please feel free.
No, I think that covers it, Abaksh. Yeah, and just guys, would encourage everyone to scan this and join our community. We keep on having these webinars where we're talking about best practices that we are seeing in the industry. Also, a lot of good contacts and networking is happening through that community of the right brand owners amongst themselves to help cross leverage learnings as well. So to nudge everyone to just scan this QR and join the Shiprocket learning community as well.
So before we end the session, we have two or three couple of more questions. One is that is there any analytics dashboard and API to track the performance of the influencer marketing video?
Hello, hello, am I audible?
Yes, Abaksh, we can hear you.
Yeah, so there is a dashboard. There's a in every like for every order that you place, there is a campaign tracking dashboard that will help you real time see how your campaign is doing end to end on variety of metrics. So yes, to answer your question, there's a dashboard that helps you see data real time.
And how many days does it typically take to for the video to go live?
So depending on like shipping, etc., and like the type of creators, etc., etc., I think today that is taking between 10 to 15 days. Our ambition is to like reduce that time to between 5 to 10 days for a campaign to like go live end to end. But today I think like we're taking between 10 to 15 days, which is also like much faster than an average time that even a large brand takes. Like even large brands would typically take like more than 30 days, but thanks to like a lot of technology and product automation, we've been able to already bring it down to like 10 to 15 days for most orders to go live.
And that's I guess that's it for
Can you just
today.
go to the last slide for contacts for everyone? Anyone who's interested in Amplify, Ria? I think there's a so for anyone who's interested in knowing more about Amplify, feel free to write to us or go to our website where there's more details available on the product. We're happy to take you through more information there and enable you to try out the platform as well. But thank you so much everyone for joining today. I think was a pleasure interacting with everyone. Thanks, Apaksh, for also all your insights on influencer marketing.
Thanks, Praful. Thank you so much for hosting us, and thanks everyone for coming today and finding the time again, and for all I think very engaging session and a lot of great questions. And thank you again to Shiprocket as well to like bring everybody together here. So yeah, excited to hear more from everybody, and happy to share more about Amplify with folks. Bye.